Good morning, grade 8, and happy new year, everyone. So, a new year that brings a new hope, a new beginning, and of course, a new lesson. And I hope everybody is ready to listen and learn. For our first lesson in this year, we are going to explore Thailand, the land of free. And let's find out the different literary genre of Thailand that influence Thai people. All right, so are you ready? And let's discuss today Thai folk tale entitled Makato and the Cowrie Shell. So in this story, let's discover the values and traits of the character which enabled him to become a successful and better person. But before that, of course, let's unlock first some difficult words that he may encounter in reading this story. So first we have cowrie. So it is a small shell that is found in the warm sea. So it is a marine mollusk that has smooth, glossy, dome shell with a long, narrow opening, typically brightly patterned, and very popular with collectors. So I will show you some cowrie shells on the next slides. Okay. Next, we have idle. So idle means not having any real value or purpose. Next is beaming. It means to smile happily. And the next is mahout. So mahout, the elephant's keeper and drive. By the way, Thailand is very popular of its elephants, and the mahout is the one who takes care of the elephants. Okay. Next, we have perception. So it is the way you understand someone or something. Next is orphan. It means a child whose parents are dead. And fortune, it means great amount of money or luck. And the last one, wages. So wages, it means the money that people earn from working. Okay. And there you go. So this is a cowrie shell. So now let's have the characters in the story. So first we have Makato. So he is the main character in the story. He is an orphan, so he had to make a living for himself. And at a very young age, as a worker, he is always praised by his employer as a sensible, hardworking, good-tempered, and a cheerful one. Okay, so that is Makato. Next, we have Makato's employers. So, Makato's employer, the one who supported Makato on his wish to go on a journey for an adventure. And the old woman. So, the old woman here plays a very important role in the story because she is the one who helped Makato. So, a kind woman who gave Makato a cup of water when he was thirsty from his journey. And we have the old mahout. So again, mahout means the one who takes care elephant. And the old mahout here is the husband of an old woman, and he is one of King's mahout. He is the one who takes care of the king's elephants. And they were both fond of Makato. Okay, next we have Praruwang. So Praruwang is the king of Sukhothai, a kind-hearted king who gave Makato a cowrie shell and later on made Makato the ruler of Mon. So we're going to talk about it more in the summary of the story. Next, the woman at the market or the vendor. So she sold the lettuce seeds to Makato in exchange of the cowrie shell. And last, we have king's daughter. So she is a beautiful young daughter of the king who later on became the wife of Makato. Alright? Now let's have the setting of the story. So first is Mon. It is the place where Makato grew. And Kingdom of Sukhothai. It is where he started his journey and he met the king Praruang. Okay. Now let's have the story. So once upon a time, there was a boy whose name was Makato. So again, he was an orphan for his father and mother had died when he was very young. So he had no brothers, sisters, cousins, or friends to take care of him. So he had to make a living for himself. He did every kind of work carrying heavy things, clearing away the forest, or feeding pigs. He never idled over his work, and although he was paid only a small wage, he was satisfied. He is very hardworking and a cheerful boy. So that is Makato. And then one day it came to his mind that he wanted to try his luck in far off strange lands, for he longed for exciting adventures. So Makato left his village Mon and set out into the wide world. He walked along cheerfully, enjoying new sights and talking to the people he met on the way. And after a month's journey, he reached a village on the frontier of the kingdom of Sukhothai. And there he met the old woman and her husband, who happened to be one of the king's mahal. So they helped Makato and let him stay with them. And then Makato in return helped the Mahal takes care of the elephant. And Makato wished that someday he will meet the king of Sukhothai, for he heard that the king is very kind. And one day Praruang the king visited the elephant shell where Makato worked. It was Makato's lucky day. So Makato met the king. He bowed to honor him, and it happened that the king asked the mahout about the hard-working boy, and the mahout told the king about Makato. As the king walked away, Makato saw a little cowrie shell lying on the ground. He ran to pick it up and held it out to the king, but the king said with a smile, "You may keep it." And Makato was very happy, for he thought the king has given him a cowrie shell. And at the time, the people of Sukhothai used cowrie shells as money. Although one cowrie shell had little value, Makato wanted to make as much use of it as possible because for him it was the gift of the king. And he used the cowrie shell to buy lettuce seeds. So he done so well in growing the seed into a very fine lettuce, and he presented this, or rather his lettuce, to the king, and the king was impressed with his intelligence and industry, so much that later on he gave Makato a job in the palace. As the years passed, Makati grew tall and handsome. He mastered every grace and served the king well. He was so loyal that the king trusted him absolutely. He was promoted to higher and higher positions until he was given the title of Kunwang, which meant that he was the most important person in the king's court. So that is Makato. So from an orphan boy, he is now an important person. And at the end of the story, Makato was happily married to a beautiful young daughter of the king. And after that, the king made him the ruler of Mon. So it was that Makato, who had once been a poor orphan, became the king of that prosperous kingdom. And that's the end of the story, Makato and the Cowrie Shell. So it is a simple story, a beautiful Thailand folk tale full of lessons. And I do hope that you learned something from it. And now let's have the theme of the story. So it is all about patience and hard work. So in the story, Makato had planted a seed eagerly and patiently waited for it to grow well. He had received the seeds in a positive way, and through kindness, he had been rewarded for his diligence and hard work. As the years went by, he had perfected every virtue and served the king well. So, as a student, you should also be patient and hardworking in achieving your dreams. So you have to study well to get good grades. So no matter how difficult the situation in this pandemic, I know, like Makato, at the end, you will be rewarded for being patient and hardworking. Okay? And for your ILT grade 8, please read your book, pages 174 to 179, and try to answer activity 1A. So only A that is found on page 180. So do not send your answer rather. Instead, be ready for our live discussion next meeting. And that's all for today, grade 8. Again, this is Teacher Mitch, your English teacher, saying, when you dream, don't just dream, but do something about it and achieve your dream and work hard for it. All right? So, goodbye, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Happy New Year once again.